So, third time's the charm. Welcome back. Hello again. If this is your first time joining us, hello for the first time. And I hope you enjoy Skyrim, relaxing, and town tours. My name is Will. You're watching ASMR Steam Deck. ASMR Steam
afternoon.
Not Thanos. Talos. Talos. Talos was part of the first people to set foot in Skyrim.
What do you need?
And was added to the pantheon by the Nords of Skyrim.
Need something?
As we make our way down to the lower tiers of the city, my mind reminisces of Minas Tirith.
Greybeards have summoned the Dragonborn to High Hrothgar. Such
While
a thing
this
has not
city
happened
is not as big,
hundreds of years.
it boasts its own internal industry, which makes it important as a outlying city and hold to protect but not only supply places like Whiterun. This place lacks a farm or standard way to grow food, but the mine allows them to have goods to trade. The Citadel requires a key. The catacombs are currently locked. Let's take a peek inside. The alchemists. As you can see, it's full of awesome custom building pieces and items. The mod author's done an exceptional job. And we're going to head south. There's really only a few more buildings to look at Hello, welcome back to another video in the Steam Deck playing Skyrim. So today we're going to do a tour of a modded town just across the river from Riverwood. There's the bridge that you come across after leaving Riverwood. Now, if you hear any background noise, it is the daytime, and there's also cars that drive by super fast without stopping at the stop sign. So, if you hear any super fast vehicles, or you might hear my dog snoring in the background, I apologize. But hopefully I'll give you some good controller sounds. So the name of this town is Ebonvale, and it's located right here, and it adds a nice little way to get up to Bleakfall Barrow, and then a nice way in and out to go to Riverwood or to Whiterun. So we're here at the south gate. And as you can see, it's a pretty heavily wooded city. Lots of trees, and all the buildings reflect that in the architecture. So we're going to walk up here to this property. We'll get a little central indication of where we are and what we need to go look at.
I'm telling you, I heard it. Howling. Those werewolf tales are true.
So this, I believe, is a player home that you can own. I think it's called Ebonvale. No, it's Dragonwood Manor. Dragonwood Manor. And I don't own it, so we can't go inside. But it's got a nice little balcony up here. You can kind of see the entire town. And to the south side, you'll see this is the archway and the gateway to Bleakfall Barrow. Which is super important in the quest line. And if you come down here, right underneath the balcony in the manor is the mine. And so there's actually, I believe it's an iron mine. We'll go inside and we'll walk around. So there's actually a pretty decently sized mine for you to explore. as you can see, it goes down pretty far. So I think the lore for this town is that it supplies Whiterun with the metal used in the forge, if I am not mistaken. But there's some secrets and some really cool features down in here. But I don't want to ruin them in case you decide to download the mod and add it to your playthrough. It's available on the Nexus, and I think it's probably available for all versions because I had this city mod back in the original Skyrim, and it was one of the first mods that I actually had on a modded playthrough. So if you leave the mine and you wanted to go to Whiterun, you'd go out this north gate, and we'll probably exit that way, but it leads down the mountainside and back to the road, and you can actually take the main road or all the way around this town if you were trying to pass through it or pass around it. So there is actually a bypass. There's some log piles and wood piles, perhaps being used to go repair or expand some of these homes. There's the gate we came in. And then the main buildings in the town where everybody lives and works is all centralized around this really large, very pretty pink tree. And so it provides shade and shadow.
I heard the gourmet is hiding out somewhere in Skyrim. The fellow who wrote that cookbook.
But also people put little donations and tokens because it's such a special tree. And as you can see, circled around the tree are all the homes and businesses in Ebonvale. From the inn to the blacksmith to the clothing and apparel. This is a Secret Scrolls, which is a magic and alteration business. You can buy some pretty cool spells there. You can see the town is patrolled by these ebony armor wearing guards. This is Darius the Black, who I believe you can make a follower.
They say the college has been snooping around Sarthal. Mages and devil.
There's really cool benches you can sit on
Got to thinking.
and kind of watch what's going on in the town during the daytime.
If I'd been on guard at the Thalmor embassy, nobody would disturb me that much.
There's a blacksmith in town. divine gauntlet. Oh, here comes a giant bus of people. There are lots of lanterns around, which I always like the look and feel of in Skyrim. And what town is complete without a local inn? This is the Dragon's Nest Inn, which we will go in and have a drink right before we head out of town. But we still have 2 more places to look at.
Could it mean return of the Dragonborn?
The first is the Trader's Vale, which is the local town's trading post. And last but not least, we have the Silver Quiver, which I believe is just a weapons seller, armor. So, all those places combined make this really pretty town of Ebonvale.
Need something? What is it?
Marcus Stormborn. And I always really liked this tree. So this is always one of my favorite little modded towns that you could get. So let's go into the Dragon's Nest Inn.
Come on in, sugar. Still here.
And it's got a really pretty kind of homey feel to it. Warm ourselves by the fire. There's this great picture of, looks like a Nord perhaps building the first area in this town. There's a bunch of chairs and benches we could sit at. It's pretty late, so looks like just Sasha Ebonhart and one other patron, Madoon, are at the fire. And then at the other end, we've got a beautiful portrait of a Pegasus. Normally these places are filled with bards and all sorts of characters and creatures, but it's currently 6 a.m. in the morning, so
Take a look.
we'll buy ourselves an ale and we'll head out of town here. So I will try to link at very least the Skyrim Special Edition, which is what this version is. Mod link for the Nexus in the description. But I would say check this town out because it's a great place to make an in-between home and a safe spot in between Whiterun and Riverwood. And it adds to the feeling that there's actually more people that these holds kind of reign over and protect, and kind of makes sense that this place would be here because it's up on the hill. It would be a direct line from Riverwood to Whiterun, White Run. But the exit of the town is really pretty too. It takes you through this little forest and across this little riverway. And if I didn't have a bunch of grass mods, you could see all there's like stairs and these like rough-in stairs everywhere. And then you go back to the main road. So it's just tucked away up there on the mountainside. And I hope you guys check it out because it's a really well done mod and it's very loved, so keep enjoying it. I'm going to keep walking off into the distance and check back for more town tours, ASMR Skyrim videos, and videos of me just doing quests and random things in this game. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to share it, like it, or subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye. Hello. Welcome back to ASMR Steamdeck. We're playing Skyrim today. And I'm here just under the town of Oakwood, which we toured the other day. And it's pouring down rain here. So we're gonna walk just over here. And we're going to tour a town called Pinewatch. Pinewatch. I'm hoping this video goes okay, so I don't think I've ever done a town tour in the rain before. But I always found the weather very peaceful when it rained in Skyrim. So right here on what is the west gate of the city or village of Pinewatch. It's just slightly east of Falkreath and directly west of Helgen. The main road goes through the center of town. And as you enter, you're greeted by a raised watchtower and some basic fortifications to protect and keep vigilant the town guard. Due to our town's location, and coordinated to the best of their ability. can see there are several structures bustled up against the mountains and forests on the roadside. And what would you like to do? Walk through. And we're just kind of following this guard for a moment as he checks in. That's what I guess we could call the Eastern Gate. It would take you towards Helgen. Can you hear the rain hitting the stone on the road, making the path a little muddier underneath our feet? Looks like there's more city folk or travelers coming out of here. Outside of town, because we already know what the outside of the gates look like. I'm just going to take you up to the little tiny pond up here. I just really enjoyed this tiny little area to relax, hang out. I think the current was even pushing over there for a moment. So, while you would never enter the town this way, it does give us a fairly good overview of how the road stretches from one end to the other. And we're going to begin our tour with the blacksmith of all places. This is one of the larger structures, as the main focus and reason this area has been able to sustain itself, other than the travel and business at the inn and shops, it's the blacksmith. As you know, Oakwood has more dedicated blacksmith. And as a result, they have to export and outsource the vast majority of any of their needs. One such place is Defense at Dawn. Pinewatch mine is able to procure and forge raw ingots. The blacksmith takes up the defense of dawn here and repairs adventurers and travelers, horses and carriages, as well as fills the royal portals, Falkdead. All of the farming, boating, fishing, and hunting gear throughout the region can be traced back or have probably seen some repairs done to Defense at Dawn. Across the street from Defense at Dawn, there's one of the earlier structures in the village. A simple commoner's farmer house. One of the other secondary functions of some of these exterior villages and towns is simply to have places for the population to stay and live. You don't want to have one city too packed or one not packed at all. These tiny outlying regions and villages allow, particularly Falkreath, to have a spread presence in the dense forest. Here is a Pinewatch guard, taking a break, enjoying a piece of bread, or maybe that is something sweet. Well-deserved sweet roll. You have to have a very keen eye to watch the forests, bandits, or large parties of adventurers and travelers from Bruma heading north to Solitude. You head back downstairs. We will continue straight and to our left. To the inn in the town. We pay particular attention to the rooftop. You can see the dormer spider that greets the travelers as they enter. The Dancing Dwemer Tavern is a unique Dwemer-inspired decor tavern. Lots of stone, including all of the seating and tables, and some very cool spider Dwemer inspired seats. Lots of Dwemer ore and copper, lime, and tickle the eyes as ornate little pieces in this little tiny village pub. Sven, the bartender, runs a very clean shop here, and you can tell by looking at it that it's very warm and inviting. If we open the door back into Skyrim, outside the inn, there are local farmers that have some shops that sell fresh goods and produce. The carriages and travelers by who might need a quick snack or to stock up on necessities. There's no standard trader here in town. Between the blacksmith, the inn, and these two farm stalls, we'd have to make do with what was available in a pinch. Immediately right to the food stalls is a smaller structure that is home to the town guard. The Pinewatch Barracks is a cozy little place where these guards can rest their heads for the night. Any guard stationed in Pinewatch would be here for at least a 2-month cycle, if not longer. And so a basic barracks and quarters would be shared amongst the small amount of guards. Rotation sleeping would probably be necessary. There's a warm hearth, but nowhere to cook, so they rely on the generous donations from the town village and have been known to contract the inn to cook them rations and meals for the week. Heading down, we walk up this wet, stone, muddy path, illuminated by this lantern, to two final structures in our tour. This is Pinewatch, which I believe is an actual cabin under the open. Across from it, there's another cottage, similar size and architecture, and this is the Pinewatch house. I don't remember, but this might be a player home. I don't remember if you could acquire this or not. the lusty Argonian maid. Well, this doesn't appear to be a home for us. So before the owner comes back, we're gonna head out. And with that, we'll stop at one more location to pay respects. As you see behind the blacksmith here, there's a memorial and a grave to the blacksmith's daughter and wife. And I felt it wouldn't be right without paying them a visit. I think I might even have a tiny little flower to give them. I'll give them a purple mountain flower, one each. They don't roll away. Looks like they might. Well, it's the thought that counts, I guess. There we go. At least they won't roll away now. But I thought that was very somber, but kind of beautiful and cute. That there's that much detail into this little mod town. So, take a peek at Pinewatch. Consider downloading it, as it's a nice little addition to the east part of the Falkdead hole. Small lively town. If you like content like this, I'm gonna go have a drink in the inn. As the rain is very, very, very cold and chilling after a while. But this marks one of the final towns we have to tour in this area. And then I'm going to do the main city of Falkreath before we head to another area and region of Skyrim for some more tours. I hope you enjoyed this video and it helped to relax you. Take care. Hello. I hope you're doing well today. We're back in Skyrim, exploring another smallish town today. I'm here on the banks of Aurora. on the lake here we've filmed many videos on. And if we turn to the water side, you can see there are some structures built on the actual water. And this is the small little village we're going to tour today. If you recognize the flag, or the iconography, the town today is called Little Vivec. Little Vivec. And it's located in the middle of the lake here, north of Falkreath and west of Helgen. And in my playthrough, Aurora and the town of Oakwood sit very nicely and work and are patched with Little Vivec. It comes with a few small quests and storyline. But it's only a few structures. And it's a very quaint, tiny little town. If I remember the description, the mod author's lore is that this town was originally started as a refugee village when the volcano erupted. They built a pretty expansive dock system that connects the little islands. The residents and long-term inhabitants keep busy as the lake life provides many of the basic necessities for them. The winding wooden dock, the sound of the wood being chopped, the dog barking, and the water hitting the banks in the background all add to the peacefulness of this little village. You can see the town of Oakwood off in the distance, and the watchtower across the river or lake there. The town of Aurora is just a stone's throw away, so many of the inhabitants are friendly and trade with, and visit the stores daily. We'll do one small lap around the village, and then we'll get into our more detailed tour. I'd like to take a moment and thank everybody watching and interacting on my channel. Some of the views and comments on my videos have been very kind. It's nice to see people enjoying watching me wander around aimlessly through these towns. I'm hoping to do some more edited quest lines that have some cut up gameplay with some voiceover in between. I figure this will be the most relaxing way for everybody to enjoy a story with a quest, but also not get overwhelmed with the combat noise. So, we're back at the entrance to the dock, and if we look, our first stop is going to be the trader. What town is complete without a trader? Salice's Trade House has a variety of scrumptious goods and necessary potions, as well as some unique elvish goods. It's very cozy and inviting. And you can see the mod author took some time to do some unique placement of items and elements to create a unique little building here. If you noticed when we were walking around, this building also has a second-story balcony. And if we wander around, there looks to be some goods stored underneath the stairs. A small village dock, presumably used for fishing in the lake. And I believe a graybeard statue overlooking the town. There's a little bench here on the dock. If we go up the stairs, you can see even the buildings are done up with flags and iconography. This is the upstairs of Salice's trade house. She's got a few beds and perhaps a very basic setup for travelers or guests that stay in the town. Some nice little touches by the mod author. Kid and his dog underneath the statue. Continuing on, we will head to the right and across to the first island. This is a fairly unique home, as it is a small gardener's house. Velena Rathvasi. She has several useful crops here. Could imagine being self-sufficient in a town like this. It'd keep you going through the winters and the long summer months. Another village resident, Belvedere Rathvasi.
What's this? A new visitor to Rathvasi Canton? Welcome, welcome.
He seems very pleasant and excited to see us. And across on the other island here, you have a very unique structure and one of the cooler inhabitants. This little hunting, tanning, and fishing cottage is owned by Balran, who is one of the main people in the quest line of Little Vivec. He hangs out here and takes care of not only himself, but the other villagers with his hunting and fishing. He's got a fairly done-up, unique little cottage here. And a shrine to his goddess Azura. One of his prized kills on the wall, and all his necessities for his hunter-gatherer lifestyle. He gets to wake up to this gorgeous view every morning. moving on to our final structure in this tiny little town. A stone hut and farmhouse built on the last little island in Little Vivec. The DeRosa house.
What can I do for you?
And it is owned by Torin DeRosa.
What can I do for you?
And I believe he has a brother who sits and ponders and drinks his days away. I pretty much always find him sitting here by the water. Torin DeRosa. He sips his wine and listens to his brother chop wood. One of the only trees on the island was chopped down, presumably to maybe help them build their cabin. And now some smaller pine or spruce trees seem to be taking hold and growing larger. But with that, this was a little tour of a little town called Little Vivec. I hope you enjoyed walking through this mod, and check out this on the Nexus. If I helped you to relax, please consider subscribing, as I try to do town tours quite regularly. And we're almost finished with all the towns in the Falkreath hold. And I have quite a few. Aurora will be one of our next ones. And stay tuned for some quest content, as well as my ambient Skyrim series, where we just look and listen. There's no talking, and I take you through a region or an ASMR soundscape in Skyrim. This was a town tour of Little Vivec, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Hello, and welcome. I hope you're doing well, and you're ready to relax in Skyrim today. Today we're going to be touring another town in Skyrim, if we can call it that. This might take the cake for the smallest town tour video I've ever done. I was wandering on this stone path here, farm homes. And I think it's so cute. So, if you wanted to go to Falkreath or the city of Morith, you'd head through this path, and Illenbeer and Bruma and Folkstead are all accessible through these roads. You could imagine passing through here and maybe saying hello to the farmers or inhabitants of this town as you wandered past and never think anything of it. Located northeast of Folkstead and southeast of Falkreath, just over the Folks Pass, is the town of Mjolgrove. I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly. Mjolgrove. That's what I'm going to go with. Mjolgrove. Please, somebody below, give us the correct pronunciation, please. But this tiny little town, which seems to hold allegiance to Falkreath, has a few inhabitants, and it has a few structures, but it is nothing crazy. If we open the gate here, we see that there's a couple of horses resting, as well as my lizard off there in the back. And if we spin around, we'll begin our tour at roughly 1/3 of the town. This is Argar's house. I believe he passed us on the road earlier.
What can I do for you?
Drifnia, my Narch.
Oh, did you need something?
They don't appear to have much to say, but there are 3 beds, so perhaps they have a child somewhere, or they rent a bed. Seems like a very basic farm home, but very quaint. Could imagine resting here by the fire after a long day of tending to the horses. I imagine the horses and the home here and the small pasture are for the carriage here, which the other home here. This is Argar the Bold. This is the Mjolgrove's Inn. He's bold, but he doesn't have much to say. If we go inside of the inn, we'll see that it's just a very small inn
All right then.
and homestead. But there's lots of food and amenities. A nice warm fire. And it looks like there's a couple of beds. A perfect little stop if you are a hunter or a lone traveler enjoying or recouping after a long journey. If you were a larger party, you would most likely move on to one of the larger towns in the region, or make camp just outside. Let's take a look at the little pasture here, as well as the town well. You can see there's a flag next to the well indicating who protects this town. With the increased dragon attacks, Falkreath has been sending a few guards a week to patrol and check on these tinier border villages and towns, and to make sure the lonely and limited inhabitants of the regions are kept safe and watched over. You can see the cold snow and mountain valley most likely accumulates lots of snowfall and ice. So having the inn here in case of a heavy storm or impassable blizzard is very important. Those stables probably several minutes safely. These two appear to be horses stripped off the carriage. As we can see, one of them is equipped with a saddle. Probably the rider. This is why creature and it's pretty much it for this town. There's not a lot, but I thought this cute little border village deserved. think maybe we will the path. We will head rest out of town. As we wander through the snow here, I just wanted to thank all of you for watching, listening, and enjoying my videos and content. It means a lot that you relax and enjoy watching me wander to these wooded hills. Skyrim such see here, this is the path to the town of Folkstead, which we've done an ASMR video, 2-minute one. So if you want, I'll put a link. Take a peek. It's quite nice. So here are the stars of Skyrim. Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Skyrim Town Tour video. So, today we're doing something a little new and exciting. So normally I try to at least wander through a town before I do a tour, just to get an idea of the layout and what to expect. But today we're going to be touring a town I've never been to before. It's actually an old Elder Scrolls arena town, and is in the game from long ago. So it's technically not a new modded town. Look at all these fireflies and butterflies. I don't know if I've ever seen so many. This is the crossroads we're at. There's all sorts of directions we could go, but if we head towards Markarth, which I believe this area is still technically the Falkreath Hold. I think the edge of it is to the east there. We get to a wall. Looks like there's no city gates. So that must mean the road is open. I guess the fox is running there. But we're right here on the map. Here's Whiterun. Here's Falkreath. And kind of smack dab in the middle of the plains is a town called Granite Hill. Not to be confused with Granite Hall. Granite Hill is from Arena. And I don't really know much about the lore of this town. But I figured we'll take a look and see if we can't learn and maybe enjoy a new town together. We had a dragon attack just outside of town. And it looks like one of the guards fell. Here is the northern gate of the city, which again remains open. And it looks like it crosses over to the next hold. So yes, Falkreath still maintains Granite Hill, although Whiterun most likely maintains good relations and a presence here through trade, goods, and services, as its approximation and need for trade with Markarth would necessitate travel through the town here. Entering in from the northern gate, you again have a crossroads And if we head out the western gate, we see the town continues. And you can see this also marks the border between Falkreath and the Reach, as anything past the gate here is maintained by the Reach. There is a fair presence of guards in the city. Since the gates are open, the elements and the wilds can travel and perhaps harm members. I think entering from the west gate, we can start our tour. And looks like there's a small to medium farmhouse. Jen and John's house. It's currently locked. I don't think we should bother them right now. It's getting rather late. If we cross the street from Jen and John's house, we get to an iconic structure, the blacksmith. You could imagine this blacksmith maintains many horses and carriages that come through Granite Hill, as well as a fair bit of mining equipment and hunting equipment from the workers and adventurers around the local region. Tolvir seems to be the name of the local blacksmith here in Granite Hill. Good blacksmith is always an important thing to have. Across from the blacksmith is another business.
Yes?
Yes?
Looks to be the local trader. Crossroads Goods is the name of the shop.
You're looking hale and healthy. What are you doing that for?
Looks to be owned by a man named Roar. He probably stocks a fair amount of necessities for both travelers as well as the adventurer of the area. Arrows and bows for anybody making their way south into the forest. and his home sits very nicely underneath some of the last trees before the large plains of Whiterun. Across from the trader and on the northern boardwalk of the city is a very cool and custom shop for what we can only guess is the alchemist and or local sorcerer of the town. Oddities and curiosities. Some very cool soul gems used as decorations. Boardwalk, we get to potent potables, which is the alchemy shop. And this looks like
Need
the
something?
alchemist, whose name happens to be Alex. Alex, the alchemist. We will jaywalk across the road here and take a peek at a structure that I think is actually glitched into another stable. But it looks like it's supposed to be somebody's home. The Crossway Cottage requires a key. So perhaps this is a player home that currently is being used by the Drivers Guild as a carriage stop. One of the last structures is the inn here. But I'm gonna take a look around back, as I think there is something going on, as I see NPCs coming from the back. There is a dog sitting next to a fresh water well. Some chickens. And it looks like during the day there are a few shops and cellars here behind the inn. There are some stairs that look like they lead up to a watchtower. You can imagine there needing to be a beacon or a way to communicate. To either Whiterun or one of the surrounding towns. It looks like the guards have set up shop. There is a little camping fire and area on top of the watchtower that overlooks the small town as well as the plains. On a clear day, we can probably see all the way to Whiterun, but definitely to the watchtower. We're going to head back down the spiral staircase. And we will end our journey at the inn here in Granite Hill. Hope. Maybe not. There may be more. Lots of stairs. Oh, wow. I didn't expect this, but this is special. This is a beautiful shrine to Talos. Sitting here at the foot of the mountain. And then overlooking the town here. We'll have to look for it from the ground. I never noticed that. It's funny that this town is located where it is. I never played Elder Scrolls, the Arena. But one of the mods that we actually have on this playthrough too, called Tundra Defense and Outpost Builder, allow you to set up excuse me, a custom base. I set my first base up right where this town was. So I think it's funny that there was supposed to be an actual town right here. I always liked the crossroads, and with mods like immersive patrols, it always made towns like this very fun to hang out in. So the name of the inn here is the Sheep's Head Inn. It's a cool little custom banner for it on the sign. A very warm and quiet inn. I always like those. Can see the food cooking by the fire. Helena, the innkeeper, is watching the bar, and it looks to be a fairly quiet night here at the Sheep's Head Inn. This is the perfect little town, just like these guys are doing, to travel through. I think that might be all this town has to offer.
Need something?
Just trying to get a picture.
Yes.
Let's take a peek right behind this structure. But I don't think there was anything else. Looks like just a walkway to get up to the gates.
Good job out there.
Thank you, soldier. So, as you can see, this is a great little addition that adds a lore-friendly town to Skyrim. I'd highly recommend checking it out. If this video relaxed you or informed you, or if you like these Town Tour Skyrim videos, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know Granite Hill. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and check back for future Skyrim Town Tour videos. Check out the other playlists and Town Tour videos I have, as a lot of them are modded towns that you might enjoy adding to your own playlist, or at very least, you'll relax to them. This was Granite Hill, and I hope you enjoyed. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well today. We're sitting here on the banks of Lake Elenatra, I believe is the name of it. We're gonna do another town tour today in Skyrim. This town is called Oakwood. 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 And it's the northernmost town I have on the lake here. But it sits right here on the road between Riverwood and the road north to Falkreath, or from Falkreath. And it's necessary to have this, as it's a long walk from Bruma to Helgen or Riverwood or Falkreath, and many people use these roads as transport north to Solitude or to Iverstead. So this town offers a variety of trade and goods and facilities for the adventurer, the traveler, or the trader. We just entered through the eastern gates. These gates are more watchtowers, as they don't provide very much defense, but it does allow this place to be a safe haven, and guards to see who is coming and going. Immediately to our right, we have a stall of a fisherman named Burgo. It looks like he sells a variety of both cut and uncut fish meat. This is both a fishing village as well as a hunting village. We will take a look down that plank, or that dock in a second. But we will go to the center of town. The town is situated beneath a very large oak tree, which, in my case, looks like it's been modded to be a pine tree. You can see the gorgeous stone walkway and path that leads us up into a circular rotunda with a variety of shops, each building made from perhaps riverstone or fieldstone. Some of the buildings have more ornate features similar to a longhouse. And all of the structures sit in very cozily around the central circular tree. This first house is Brigham's house. I won't go into any of the private homes, just because I don't want to spoil too much. Sometimes I capture screenshots. That's what I was just doing there. So here is the trader called Dragolf's Finest Sundries. We will take a
Let me
look
know if you see
inside.
anything you like.
Looks like a very basic trader. Lots of furs and perhaps goods from traders from Citadel heading north. This is Dragolf. There's always a conundrum in Bethesda games of where you have to sell your goods, as there's never enough coin. But I've added enough cities that I can kind of walk from whole town and small town to small town, and I'm able to kind of do trade loops and circuits.
Yes?
This is Moraine.
Huh? This should
Looks
be
like
good.
There's
Thought I
perhaps
heard
a fish or something aggravating the horses. That's not good. Deal with it. I have several rat minions.
This is what I've trained for!
It's probably spiders or wolves. My stomach is growling quite heavily. Sorry about that if it's picked up on camera or audio.
Enjoy
we'll go inside here. The House of Clan Greenblade. I imagine, yes, this is very much like a Viking longhouse. Looks like this is the Thane. Crispa Greenblade, or Crispia Greenblade. There's a beautiful fireplace.
I'm waiting.
Luthard. Captain Tristanius.
Need something?
And Stellan Greenblade. Stellan Greenblade. So you can see Falkreath's close approximation to this town allows both fresh fish as well as transporting of goods to and from the lake and its surrounding inhabitants. Some of the unique and rare goods and items.
Yes.
The Oakwood fishery
Need something?
appears to be locked.
What can I do for you?
But you could think about all the ships, just like this one, traveling, doing some fishing, perhaps transporting heavy goods from the mill to the road here for transport east or west. This area could also be a significant source of buildable stone and clay resources. And you can even get a sense of what it would be like to wake up and live in this village. Sitting underneath this mountain and the bars, seeing all of the clouds and the high mountain peaks, and then if you look to the east, you see the throat of the world and all of its glory. And then to the south, you're buffeted by a gorgeous pine forest. Oof, my stomach is very loud. Continuing on our little journey. This is the major dock here. And it sounds like there's some movement around. It appears there is a wrecked ship. Perhaps from a violent storm. is not very busy today.
I'm right behind you.
It's midday, so there are probably not a lot of fishermen out, as they've already come back with their catch. This is another home of a local. Looks like our horses are relaxing in the water outside of town. So just in those two small areas, there's quite a lot of life. And as we continue west through the town, you see people are hard at work, chopping wood. Preparing for the cold night ahead. Some of these structures have very beautiful roofs. The stone and asymmetrical style of the facades. It's very cool and unique. If we look to our left, we have a structure up on the stilts, and Jeddah Clavius giving us an upskirt.
Yeah? What?
This looks to be the home of Clevis and Jeddah.
Yeah? What?
She doesn't seem too friendly, but perhaps her husband is the local blacksmith. We'll leave him to his work. Across from the blacksmith is another ornate wooden structure with, is that a wisp mother or a spriggan? I believe it's a spriggan because this is the inn, and it's called the Spryful Spriggan Inn. I think we should take a peek.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
A very cozy inn. Situated.
It happened so fast. 1 minute the dragon was there, the next it was gone. Everything was destroyed.
Situated around this very warm hearth.
What do you need?
Looks like
There are
there's a
dragons
selection
about, traveler. Be
of
warned.
fresh river foods and fish. And the innkeeper, Myred, seems to have this place very tidy and cozy.
There are dragons about, traveler. Be warned.
It's midday, so the inn is not very popular right now. As As you can see, there's some nice areas to sit and enjoy a fish, or have a seat and enjoy the sights. Continuing on past the blacksmith and the Spriggan Inn, we hold or have the town's primary watchtower and defense if the town was ever attacked. It overlooks a small farm that looks to grow cabbage and potatoes, perhaps for specialty with the fish. And then below the watchtower, we have another tiny home of Albert and Bibi. You can see how grand this watchtower once was. And while it still is standing resolute on the edge of the forest, it's slowly crumbling from the elements in various places. We continue up the river path, or the dirt path here. We get to one of the larger homes and the mine. This is the Ernie residence, and it is expertly locked. And then the town does have a somewhat functional mine just outside of it, on the road to Falkreath. The residence here is the primary source of wheat for the town, as well as provides wheat to Falkreath.
Need something?
Their abundance or capacity. If we continue on to the walkway, we see there's another area to sit and watch the forest and enjoy.
Hi there. Need something?
Sights and sounds, as well as overlook
Yes.
the road.
Yes?
You can see this would be very important, as if you were a guard for the town, you wouldn't know who was coming west until they appeared out of this forest. So having a stronger defensive wall on the west side of the city makes a lot of sense. If we go back down, you'll be able to go inside of the structure. As I've actually never explored the interior. of this tower. You can see a few guards protecting the western entrance. And we will enter the Oakwood Watchtower. There is a central fireplace.
You see those warriors from Hammerfell? They've got curved swords. Curved swords.
That spans the entire height of the ceiling. Sounds like they have a chicken in here for some reason. Maybe it's their pet chicken. Looks like the town is protected by mercenaries. Hired hands. It's probably due to the lack of housing and people in the town. So maybe individuals from Falkreath or even Whiterun who needed work could make their way down here to the lake and work as a mercenary, protecting the goods and the travelers on the road. This is a very well-equipped watchtower. Lots of beds, places to eat. And then this door takes us outside to a gorgeous overlook. To our west, there are several other towns we will be touring very soon. And you can see the lake, the ships and the boats that are on it. If you were a guard overlooking the city or taking a break, this wouldn't be the worst place to do it. It's very tranquil and peaceful up here. I think I will take a seat. And I will wish you all a happy holiday. I hope this year was very good to you. And that you either get to do something relaxing alone or get to spend it with family or friends. Or maybe you just get to snuggle up to all your dogs or cats. enjoyed making these videos the last few weeks, and I appreciate the responses and the interest in the channel. It's glad to know, or it's good to know, that there are so many other people interested in Skyrim. That being said, my stomach keeps growling, and I apologize for that. I'm going to go make myself some lunch and start packing. I hope you enjoyed this tour of Oakwood, and take a peek back at some of my other videos and town tours if you like videos like this. Feel free, if this video relaxed you, to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Hello everyone. Today we are back doing another Skyrim Town Tour. We might be turning the voice down just a wee bit for our tour today. This town is just over the border of Skyrim, to the southwest of Falkreath. But it's a town that is a perfect little stop and addition to your playthrough. Here's Falkreath on the map, and if we follow the pass south, we get to a town called Folkstead. Folkstead. And it is tucked on the road here, nestled between some mountains and a very large Nordic archway, an entrance into the Falkreath hold. As you can hear, the nature and the winds provide a very serene and peaceful environment for the villagers. The town is nestled around this central rotunda and stone wall. A large tree provides a nighttime and daytime canopy for people to gather and enjoy each other's company. Lots of travelers between Citadel and Falkreath and Skyrim make their way here, and if nothing else, know the town from their travels. There's the road out of town, and if we spin around here, you can see just how lush and how engraved the town is in the forest. can see people make their living and have daily lives here just like any place else. We'll make our way back up to our first stop towards the Folkreath side of the village. You can see how menacing and grand the entrance into Skyrim is. Standing underneath this would certainly be a sight to see if you never had experienced it before. Our first stop here is the Town Guard Watchtower. This band of locals inhabits this abandoned watchtower and now uses it as a beacon and a lookout point for the roads, mountains, and areas surrounding the town. You could imagine being assigned to be the town watch and lookout. And having to see all the glorious mountain views, sunsets and sunrises, and the skies and stars of Skyrim. Would probably want me to take a nap up here in private and sleep. Can see the statues from above. And if we make our way back down the tower, we'll move on to our next location, the town of Folkstead. Does not have a Jarl or a baron that watches over it, but instead they've adopted a more unique approach in which the townspeople vote in an elder that they choose and will guide the people. That person is Holjorf, or however you would say that. I'm sorry. My pronunciation is very bad sometimes. But they live in their longhouse here, which is just a normal private residence. But he actually gave me a quest to go visit a town northeast of Windhelm. So there seems to be more to this mod than just buildings and NPCs. Across the way from the elder's house here's just another simple 2-story farm home. And this is the Folkstead Library, which would be a very peaceful and nice place to enjoy a book. And Skyrim is perfect for that. You can see lots and lots of famous novels and volumes. And you can imagine sitting by the fire and enjoying a tale or two. Maybe I'll start reading some Skyrim books for you all. Let me know below if you would be interested in watching some videos like that. This is the house of Sedana the Huntress, one of the local wildlife experts in the village. She happens to also have the town well, which would be very important for villager and traveler alike. Across the road from the well is Red's Steel, the town's local blacksmith and metal expert. And Arch and Red make some of the finest weapons and hunting gear you can find here in the area. They also tend to the many carriages, horses, and travelers throughout the roads. Here's the town's small little memorial and cemetery. The elder shared some stories with me about a great battle led by a man named a Folk. And during the battle, many good deeds were done, and the survivors started Folkstead. I like to imagine that graveyard perhaps as a memorial to the survivors who lived long and prosperous lives. Here we have a cottage under construction. And his home to someone who must be out hunting right now or gathering. If we take a little walk by this fallen tree here, you can see the gorgeous waterfall that runs on the backside of the town. Walking behind the blacksmith, we get another view of the town rotunda. And we get to our final building here in the city. This is a tiny little farmhouse. Ida and Carl's house Just outside their home, they have a few dozen, or a few half dozen chickens. Imagine they provide a valuable source of protein for the village. And those are all the structures in the tiny little town of Folkstead. If we spin around, we'll walk into the stone and brick rotunda where all the villagers gather and listen to music, tell tales, and share meals here in the town. Beautiful tree and flowers and tables surround any traveler or villager that would like to sit and enjoy watching people walk past to and from. And with that, we will walk back underneath the arches into Skyrim again, into safety. And I'm going to go back to following butterflies around in the forest. But as you can see, here's the signs that lead you to your destinations. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video and tour of Folkstead today. Take a peek at some of my other town tours. And I think in our next video, we will finish up the towns in the Falkreath region and hold, and move on to a tour of my version of Falkreath. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you are nice and relaxed. Take a nap, sleep, and enjoy a peaceful moment. Take care, everyone.
How can I help a brother Nord?
Hello, everyone. We're back doing another town tour in Skyrim today. We're headed north on the road out of Falkreath's Hold near the town North Keep. And this little town I just recently found and have added to my playlist. It sits beautifully under the player home, Seneca. Right on the water. It's a small town called Oars Rest. Oars Rest. greeted here by this gorgeous custom sign with 2 boat oars. The town is on the west side of Lake Elinatra. And we just have to go over this little hill and through the edge of this forest, and we will see the smug little town and fishing village of Oars Rest. Tucked away on the edge of the northern Fall Creek forest, this village is home to some of Skyrim's most skilled fishermen and ship workers, located in the south holds of the region. We'll take a little peek up here at the tiny little farm. It looks like. There's a water well, perhaps from a spring, from the mountain. See, we have just this gorgeous overlook over the lake. This is a village that it's only busy when it's busy. See yourself stopping here for supplies on the road to Falkreath or Markarth. Or spending some time here working and fishing. Looks like our first stop is going to be the blacksmith's home. Seems like a fairly adequate setup. Especially for a river blacksmith. see this village is very lived in. This looks like the village watering hole, the happy horker.
Come on in. Let me know if you need anything, or take a seat by the fire and I'll send someone over.
What a warm, inviting fire and inn this is. Looks like it's just big enough.
Here for work? Get an axe and bring me all the wood you can chop.
Just big enough to hold enough
Good afternoon.
members without being
Huh?
too big. It's nice and cozy.
Yes?
Looks like she's brought out
Need something?
some hot apple pies that are glistening.
Need something?
Looks like the fog has cleared up to reveal a beautiful morning, early afternoon here on Oars Rest Dock. We'll head down to the water. Looks like there's some areas to dry fish and to clean them by the river. I guess it's a lake, not a river. I keep doing that. Let's get a wide angle here. Show you off the town in all of its
Construction
glory.
magic's fine. Just don't go burning down any buildings.
Looks like we can even use the ladders to go up and down, which is a nice touch. There looks to be some sort of cellar. Which is the basement of the Happy Horker. I would imagine that one of the deliveries here to and from would be mead, perhaps from the Honeydew meadery, taken upriver from Riverwood, or by horse and carriage, and delivered here by boat. Also, any traded goods or alcohols could be shared downriver as well. Looks like we've got a very peaceful covered pagoda to enjoy a meal or a drink as you wait by the water for a ship to dock. There are several smaller docks that allow fishing boats and personal boats to travel to and from. You can see the mill off in the distance on the other bank as we get to one of the larger.
You couldn't possibly be the Dragonborn of legend, could you?
Perhaps I am. As we get to one of the larger docks, this would be one of the few areas for the larger ships located on the lake to do any offloading or loading of heavy goods to trade. From the bow of the ship, we get a great view of the lake here. And the mill. And all the mountains and trees. And we can hear the wind, and the birds, and the water, and the boat. And if we look back, you can see just how pretty this little town is. What makes Skyrim so incredible is that you still have new mods to discover.
Yes?
If we go up the stairs here, there is a larger home. A very important person to know. And you can see the prime location.
I have to wonder, what does the Dragonborn do once he's been summoned by the Greybeards? Can the Thum be
trader
taught
has.
like any skill?
Continuing on.
Have you heard? There's been another dragon attack. Grove this time.
Looks to be the framing for a small home.
Out with it.
Or structure. And someone sitting invisible chair. Sounds like and looks like they have a functional windmill here. Could be used in making flour, or perhaps it's used in the maintenance and manufacturing of some sort of wax or glue they use on the boats. As we make our way to one of the furthest structures out on the water, looks like there's some ornate tapestry or rug out to dry as well as odds and ends such as barrels and bags scattered about. This is the fisherman's shack. Looks like a gentleman named Wilbur and perhaps his son, Vivec, are getting ready to sit down for a nice meal this evening.
Hey, you want to play a game?
Let's make our way back up to the front of the town, as I think that may be all. The secrets and buildings here in Tiny Oars Rest. But a very quaint, very condensed, but very lively and very well done custom little town here in Skyrim. It's part of the Falkreath Hold, and again contributes to the hunting and fishing and adventure culture of Falkreath. All the goods here and all the ships maintained here help to keep Skyrim and the southern holds fed, as the bountiful forests are essential.
Good to see you.
For the inhabitants of Skyrim. go here to the water's edge and enjoy the sunset on Oar's Rest. But if you enjoyed this video, check out some of the other town tour videos and other ASMR Skyrim content on my channel. And be sure to check back for more town tours and other Skyrim related relaxing videos. I hope you all are doing well, and I will see you in the next one. Hello everyone. So, it seems every time I try to film this video, a dragon wants to attack. I need to get a drink first. It's either a dragon or a trailer passing by. Today we're doing another town and city tour. Hopefully peacefully. Today's town is going to be Helgen. But not Helgen destroyed. Helgen reborn. So this is a quest mod that brings a multiple part story of, so I would say, close to DLC sized storyline that gives you a full revamp of the destroyed city or town of Helgen. It's got custom NPCs, custom quest lines and followers, and the return of some old characters that you may recognize or have had previous adventures with. So, we're gonna start the tour here, replicating the path the Dragonborn originally takes. As you can see, there's been a lot of work done to the buildings and surrounding areas. trader in the town. Helgen Wholesale. Helgen Wholesale. And it's a pretty standard outskirt trader with all your necessities. It's run by Marcus Janus. Marcus Janus. And there's all sorts of knickknacks.
Still here.
If you were living in the town that you would need.
I've got your back.
Moving on to the right, we have the town alchemist and chemist. Potent potables.
You have questions?
A very clean frontier alchemy shop run by an Argonian named
Yes.
Leai. And one of her favorite books seems to be The Lusty Argonian Maid, Volume 2. She's currently reading Volume 1 on her desk.
I'm right behind you.
I think we may have interrupted something, so we will leave that.
Still here.
I'm not actually sure what this next building is. It's got a unique flag on it. Let's go check it out. The Arcane Hammery. This must be the magic shop. Yes, looks like there is a magic specialist that is taken up. Refuge or home in Helgen.
Still here.
Across the street from the magic shop is the blacksmith, who we all know very well, Balfring Firescale. He has a nice shop here overlooking Helgen. He also seems to know quite a bit about the rumors and drama of the city. Continuing on, we have one of the most important locations in any town, the inn, and this one is simply called the Helgen Inn. Let's go take a peek. A cool stone floor, a nice warm hearth, and it looks like several nice big long tables, as well as side tables surrounding the entire room. This place, I'm sure,
What do you need?
is very popular amongst town dwellers,
Still
as
here.
well as adventurers and travelers alike. place. It reminds me more of a longhouse.
Yes?
Compared to the Riverwood Inn. If we go upstairs, you can see perhaps a private room and some secondary tables. This place would probably be one of the first stops in your travels if you were coming north from Bruma or Citadel legitimately. That's why they need so many big beds.
I'm right behind you.
If we continue before we go into the tower to get an overview of the town, we'll stop at one other spot, but we don't have to go inside. This is Sienna's house, and Sienna is a custom follower that you can get for this mod. She is voiced and has unique dialogue as well.
I'm right behind you.
This mod is worth it just for her as a follower alone. So we're gonna go up to the top of this tower and take a peek at not only the remnants of the hole that Alduin made, that we can see have been partially repaired, but also we will be able to get a perfect overview and scenic picture of this town from above. see any of the happenings going on in the town. Anybody coming in or leaving. And depending on how you play and what mods you have, places like this can be player homes.
I'm right behind you.
Or what I intend to do is eventually, after filling this with gear and finishing lots of the quests, establish followers through the multiple follower mods to act as guardians and governors of the holds. So, if we go into our basement, you will start to see just how vast this player home is. You have some guides to how it works, but you have an immense amount of storage, display cases, weapon racks, and as you will see here, some unique areas that are specific to roles. So you have an alchemy and a potion making area. We have an enchanting area with some cool banners. And then if you go to the other room over here, you will see displays for all of the armors you could ever want. All of your weapons. If we continue on, you will see another custom room that features the dragon priest masks. You can fill this room up with all of the specific items. If we go down to the last room in our tour, the cavern level, we'll see one of the more unique places, and you will have to read the display room book to understand it. But this place will allow you to show off some of the more unique encounters you have. And there are some other secrets as well. But this is basically a large underground cavern. Just like when we escaped Helgen the first time through the caves. Those caves lead to other caves. And this is the large centralized point with the rivers that lead to it from above. We'll head back up to the surface because I don't want to show off every inch of this place, as it is worth downloading and playing through on your playthrough. The quest alone is fun and a very good quest to start off if you don't want to go heavy and deep into the main quest lines or side quests, and it will allow you to level up, get gear, and followers without having to
I'm right behind you.
go crazy with the skills you have to survive. It's a very good entry-level quest. Well, it's night now, and
Right behind you.
we're gonna have to make our way out of town the way we entered is behind us, and we're going to continue on. This road actually will take you back to Folkreath, but we're just going to pause right outside and enjoy the sky. I hope you enjoyed this town tour of Helgen Reborn. Stay tuned